Do you think you ever want to get Iron Tigers overseas?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Speaking of overseas, you have travelled to 52 countries, right?
Yep.
How the bloody hell did you fit all that in?
Oh,
All of that was with your wife?
not all of them,
But
but like that's the total amount I think
You
in my life.
backpacked.
Because when I was working for Pinot Containers, on my desk we had everyone had this world map that was like a whiteboard type thing.
Uh-huh.
And I had read a book called The Wrong Way Home by Peter Moore. Hey Pete, if you watch this, I've met him, and
Cool.
I interviewed him when I was a journalist.
I was about to say.
TNT magazine, and at the time,
Had you read the book before you interviewed him?
Yeah,
Just because, or did you read it because
I can't
you were
remember
interviewing
how
him?
I fell into it, but I'd read all of his books. His bestseller is called No Shitting in the Toilet.
Uh-huh.
It's just
So
all
you sort
travel
of like-
related. I was just captured by his style of writing.
Yeah.
And so I used to email him, like, how did you become a writer? How did you get paid? Because while we were traveling, I was like, this is what I want to do. Again, another career tangent.
Yeah.
I'm going to write books from now on. I've still got a book in me, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, I reckon you could.
And so, I read this story from Peter Moore. He had traveled from Sydney to London, overland completely without booking anything, just trying to, or it was the other way around, London to Sydney, either way. And so I used to just doodle on my whiteboard desk because it was a world map. So I was just like, whiteboard, go this way. And then I got made redundant because the P&O Containers got taken over.
Yeah.
And I said to Vic, let's go traveling. So she quit her job. We went to Australia for my mate's wedding. And then our plan was to travel.
Yeah.
So we went, I can go through every country if you like.
Go.
So we left Sydney, flew to Bangkok just overnight, and then we went to Hong Kong.
Did you pre-plan it before you left completely, or did you just
Mostly.
go as you go?
There was a framework. There was kind of like flights booked
to some,
continents.
and then we'll figure it out.
We'll figure out. We know we've got to get to Singapore from
Mm-hmm.
China at some point. So we had kind of dates, but we moved a couple. Went to Hong Kong. Hung out with a lady who used to work for my dad that I'd known since I was a kid. She showed us around Hong Kong. Again, met up with one of my rugby mates. He was living in the 5 seasons, something like that, because he's a stockbroker. And then we went to Beijing, stayed in Beijing in a hotel first, and then we were in a backpacker's lodge. That was just before the Olympics in Beijing. Was that 2004, something like that? I don't know. And they weren't very hospitable to Westerners back then. All the taxi drivers were being told to learn English, but they didn't want to.
Yeah.
So we would go to a train station and try and speak Chinese. They would laugh at us. We'd speak English. They would laugh at us. So getting anything done was really hard. We caught the
How old were
train,
you?
25.
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah. Sick.
So we were kind of old enough to realize that we're having these rich world experiences, but still hang out with the 19-year-old gap year students.
Still have a wild time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we caught the train from Beijing to Hanoi, which was 3 days. And that was crazy because we just had Ritz crackers and Vegemite tubes to get us going.
Yeah.
Hanoi, we traveled all the way down to Ho Chi Minh City in Saigon, and then up the Mekong River into Cambodia, all through Cambodia, Angkor Wat. And then I'm tracing the map in my head down to, we went to Thailand, Bangkok, up to a town up north there. Then we went down through Malaysia, a couple of cities in Malaysia, down to Singapore, hung out in Singapore for a bit. At the time, there was a Australian basketball team called the Singapore Slingers playing in the NBL based out of Singapore. And I was connected on MySpace with some, that's how old I am.
Yeah. No,
you remember MySpace?
Yeah.
With some of the players, and they had seen that I was in Singapore. They were like, hey, come to the game. So we ended up going to the game, and then we hung out with them that night. And I remember drinking like Red Bull and Coke, like jugs. It's just crazy. Like, we were hungover for 3 days.
Yeah.
From Singapore, we went to Nepal, Kathmandu. We got lost in Kathmandu because every street looked exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
It was just like stalls everywhere. We flew over the Himalayas in it was like a 3-seater plane. I was like, if this is
shaky?
Yes.
Super shaky.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this is our last experience in life, then so be it.
Good luck, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we caught a bus from from Kathmandu to another town. I can't remember where it was on the border of India and Nepal. We crossed the border into India and got in the back of a Jeep. Like, this is like, I would never do this
Just
now.
like a hitchhiking random Jeep.
Yeah.
Hectic.
That took us to a train station in Gorakhpur, which was like right on the eastern side of India. And the train that was supposed to take us to Delhi was due at 6 p.m. So this is about 4 p.m. 6 p.m. came and it never showed up. Nobody was telling us what was going on. It was just Vicky and I. At that stage, she was blonde
Are you
hair.
the same age?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She's older than me by 3 months.
Okay, yeah.
She was blonde haired, light skin, stood
Total
out.
Westerner.
Stood out in this, small Indian town that had never seen anything like it. And the longer the night went on, we were like, this train's never coming. We ended up sleeping 18 hours on the platform.
Wow.
And then it was like 1 o'clock the next day, the train came. And I remember it vividly. Like, we got on the train and there was like a group of 20 kids. They were students and they all just came into our cabin. Like, it was a 2-person cabin. All came into our cabin and they were just staring. And this guy was kind of pushed to the front as you're the spokesperson, find out where they're from and all of that. And I was like, we're going to get robbed or something like that. And
was
they
Vic
just
scared?
She was sort of sat behind me.
Yeah.
And then
25. Like,
yeah, like life
I
experience, but not.
Yeah, I definitely think 25 I would have been like super confident and ready and excited, but then when those moments happened, I realized I'm in another
and nobody knows we're here. Nobody would ever miss us.
It's completely different technology back then.
And then they started asking questions, and I was just like, oh, I'm Australian, and they were just like, Ricky Ponting. I was like, oh, thank God. So we started talking about cricket, and then they left.
Yeah.
So, but we went down to in Delhi. We stayed with my good friend Rahul. I'll send him this video. Hey, Rahul. And then we sort of traveled to the south in Trivandrum, went to Goa. Again, we were back in Delhi. We stayed with a lot of friends. One of the families that we stayed with took Vicky to get fitted for a sari, which she's still got. It was like completely custom made.
Gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Yeah.
I seriously see them all the time and I'm like, I wish we had something cultural in that sense.
Yeah.
Well,
I had, when we left, I went to one of the stores in Pitt Street and bought all of these clip-on koalas.
Okay,
Clip-on koalas. So anytime we just sort of, this. I remember in Hong Kong, I left my bag in the front seat of a taxi. I had my passport in it. I was freaking out. And then, but the taxi was picked us up from the outside of my friend's house. So she called the taxi firm and said, what's the name of the driver? He dropped the bag off at the police station. So I went to the police station. I gave him a clip-on koala. He was like, what is this? But, we're in India.
Also, we rarely see them in Australia.
Well, that's true, yeah. I can't tell you the last time I saw them.
Yeah. We have to pay to go see one.
That's
it, yeah.
We were in Goa and we were on the beach. There's kind of more beach culture, a lot of retired English people living there.
Yeah.
And I was playing cricket with the kids. I just went and bought a bat and a ball, and they couldn't believe I was Australian because I hadn't shaved or anything. And they were like, no, Islam. I was just like, no. That was a good thing, traveling sort of through Eastern Europe, India. I kind of fit in anywhere. So if I
stood out.
Yeah. So I remember paying local price for chai somewhere in India, and she had to pay the Westerner price.
How funny. He was like, I don't know her.
Yeah, she's not with me. India, then we flew to Egypt from Mumbai into Cairo, traveled down to Luxor, rode bikes along the Nile. That was fantastic.
Wow.
We just had like cycles and we were just going from tomb to tomb.
Wow.
And we then flew to Rome and then train up through Austria, stayed with some friends around the traps in Germany, went up to Norway, Sweden. We went up to the Arctic Circle, stayed in the ice hotel in Sweden, down through Finland.
All of the seasons.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. We spent Christmas in India, but we were in Southeast Asia for most of summer. And then by the time we got to Europe, we were back in summer again, which was quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we went Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary. So in Budapest, we stayed in a place called the Aboriginal Hostel. in Budapest. It was random. There was nothing Australian or Aboriginal about it. It's just a name.
Yeah.
In Czech Republic, I had the worst coffee I've ever had. It sticks out to this day because even if I have a bad coffee, then Vicky will go, was it worse than the Czech Republic? It was we were on the platform waiting for a morning train. It must have been 6 a.m. and there was a vending machine. So I pressed the buttons and it was just like black sludge. I don't know why. I just drank it.
Still drank it. I was about to say that. Yeah.
Because I need coffee.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like we got on the train and then this tall black American guy burst onto the train going, is this train going to such and such? And we're like, yeah. So he's like, oh, thank God. So he jumped in, he sat with us. His name was Keenan. Still talk to him.
I was about to say, you know his name. You must have made friends with him.
Yeah. He was in the army. Still talk to him to this day. And we kind of traveled with him for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And so Slovakia, we went across Czechoslovakia, Albania, Montenegro.
How long were you gone for?
About 18 months.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And at various points, like we would ditch stuff. We met Vicky's parents in Germany. They took a luggage home for us. Yeah. We kind of just shed things. Like I remember, I think I only had 3 T-shirts. Like we just washed.
Would you travel with the money from the redundancy? Did you work or did you just use whatever you had?
Bit of both. Like when we were
like, did you have any savings first?
Or? Yeah. So that was the plan. Like I had done, pre-internet, I had The Lonely Planets, the books. So I would take notes and go, okay, generally you can get by on $3 a day in Malaysia. Okay, well, let's budget for it.
You just lived on a budget.
Yeah.
Super budget.
Yeah. And like we kind of rushed through some countries. Like Malaysia, we were like, let's just keep going. And we got through to Singapore. We're like, we should have stayed in Thailand for an extra week because Singapore was so expensive.
Yeah.
And in Thailand, we were on Koh Samet and we were right on the beach. We had our own hut.
Wow.
There were geckos on the roof like this big. And yeah. But so we're Eastern Europe. We ended up in Corfu where we worked on a farm for food and board.
Yeah.
So it was a hostel and Mata and Spiros. Spiros was as Greek as they come.
Yeah.
I got really sick, actually. I got taken to hospital. And I remember
wrong with you?
It was like a gastro thing.
Yeah.
But I was sweating and I just couldn't keep any food down. Madalena looked after me. She was like rice, lemon. That's all you can eat. But I remember being in the hospital and then just like stabbing me with needles and I had bruises all over my arms and stuff. And
scary being in a hospital.
Yeah, nobody was really speaking English. Our boss at the farm, Brian Toy. Hi, Brian. He was in the US. He's from the US, and he was there with me, just trying to translate.
Yeah, that's what like when I travel. That's one thing I get really scared of. The second I start to feel sick, I'm just like, I got to get better. Like I do not want to end up in a hospital.
I think we were pretty well traveled by that stage, so we were just kind of let's just go with it.
Yeah,
So we worked on the farm for about 3 months.
How good.
And then we were like, I think it's probably time to go.
Time to keep going.
So we traveled. Well, we traveled around Greece, and then we ended up back at Corfu, and then it was like, okay, let's go home.
Yeah.
And I think Vicky's friend had a engagement party that we kind of targeted. Let's be back for that, and it was so bizarre. Like we left Corfu, and then 5 days later we were back in London. And we just traveled the whole time. So we just booked overnight ferries and overnight trains. And I remember just walking down the road to Vicky's parents' house. Like we were in Corfu 5 days ago and we'd just been traveling. We just caught the, the ferry across to Dover, got on the train, changed at Red Hill, down to Caterham. And we're just like, this is just bizarre. Like the world just got so small all of a sudden.
Yeah. And then how long after you finished that travel did you decide, how long was it after that you came back to Australia? Or was it 8 months?
It was probably what?
Yeah,
so we got back
and then,
2007. I think we got back, got jobs. I was already planning the next trip.
Yeah.
Like I was like, we didn't get to do the Eastern Bloc. I wanted to go to Moscow and we couldn't get visas to go into Russia.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go to Transylvania.
Crazy.
Dracula buff.
Yeah, no, that'd been sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to do that. So I was planning that. And then we went to the US in 2008 and stayed with Brian. And then we went, where was he? He was in Pennsylvania, I think. We went to Washington and we traveled from there. And then we flew to Vegas to meet some friends. And then we got back home and then Vicky says, I'm pregnant. And we're like...
Lock in.
Yeah. Okay. Scrap Russia.
Yeah. Oh, how good.